This morning, President Trump in Qatar. What Qatari leaders are pledging to the U.S.
Plus, it's Hmong Lao Veterans Day in Wisconsin. This morning, we share their story and sacrifice. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3. Now this morning, it's Wednesday. We've made it halfway through the week.
We are there. And look how foggy it is to start off. Our Edgewater cam showing the conditions outside. You can hardly see a thing.
Yeah, hopefully that clears up pretty soon. But yeah, take a look at this live look here. Can't even see out into the distance. Goodness.
It doesn't look that much better outside here on the patio, guys. Behind me, a lot of dense fog engulfing the area, too. You can't quite tell. But according to our map, we're down to about a quarter of a mile of visibility. Most of the dense fog advisory is for areas eastward, but definitely seeing very low visibility. Some areas like Juneau even down to 0. And this is continuing to expand further westward, that including Dane County right now. Lone Rock's down to 9. This is going to continue to fluctuate, so allow a little bit of extra time. That fog is expected to clear by about mid to early morning. I think by mid-morning, we'll start to see those visibilities increase, and by late morning, everyone should be close to about 10, which is full. But temperature is still rising, close to 60 degrees out there in Madison. A lot of areas are at 60, and dew points are very, very close. We have high humidity levels and calm winds. That's why we're seeing that patchy, dense fog out there this morning, guys. We'll talk about tomorrow's alert day coming up.
All right, we'll talk to you then. Hey, folks, you can stay ahead of those conditions by downloading the free First Warn weather app. Find it wherever you get yours.
In our top story this morning, President Donald Trump is in Qatar today for his first international trip of his second term. He's meeting with Qatari leaders who are looking to boost their influence in Washington. Qatar is one of the world's wealthiest due to energy resources. The country is pledging to invest more in the U.S. and is also offering the Defense Department a Boeing 747 to be used as Air Force One. However, members of Trump's party warned that the jet would need to be stripped down to check for surveillance devices. While Trump says the aircraft is free, experts say converting it could cost hundreds of millions of dollars. There are also growing concerns about the ethical and legal implications of accepting such a gift from a foreign government. President Trump is also announcing the lifting of all sanctions against Syria. He made the announcement at an economic forum in Saudi Arabia on the first day of his trip to the Middle East. The president noted that Syria, under its new leadership, deserves a chance to shine.
Happening today, it is the 5th annual Hmong Lao Veterans Day in Wisconsin. During the Vietnam War, thousands of Hmong Lao people fought right alongside U.S. soldiers. That's before facing harsh retribution from the Vietnamese and Laotian governments. The last airlift evacuating the remaining soldiers took place May 14, 1975. In the 50 years since, the veterans who came to America have worked hard to tell their story. Today's 50th anniversary is a way to honor them.
And they literally were the one that, instead of being helped and being healed, they are out there telling the stories. So this is a very important thing for them. It's long overdue that we should recognize their sacrifices for the communities and for the United States.
If you see flags flying at half-staff today, this is the reason why.
New this morning, a 70-year-old Orfordville man has died after a motorcycle crash in the town of Rock. Authorities say he lost control near South River Road and the Highway 11 bypass around 9 last night. He was ejected from the motorcycle and later died at the hospital. His name will be released by the Rock County Medical Examiner.
Also new this morning, a Madison woman in custody after shooting at another person all over a social media argument. Sunbury police say the 23-year-old woman and another person got into that fight online. The woman then drove out to the person's house. It's on Sweetgrass Drive near Uplands Park to continue the argument. At one point, police say the woman fired a shot. She did not, though, hit anyone or anything. Dane County Sheriff stopping her, saying that she admitted to firing. Police found a stolen handgun. She now faces several charges.
A woman is in custody after a stabbing on Madison's west side. Police were called to a parking lot on Atticus Way Monday night. They say a 52-year-old woman stabbed a 40-year-old during a fight. Police say the two knew each other. The victim's injuries are not life-threatening. The suspect faces several charges, including second-degree reckless endangerment.
Madison police investigating after a passenger hit a Metro bus driver. A couple of detectives were walking down West Main Street Monday when someone told them a driver needed help. Reports suggest the suspect boarded the back of the bus and refused to pay, and when confronted about it, the suspect then punched the driver. That person is under arrest for battery to a public transit operator, resisting arrest, and 6 counts of bail jumping.
Meanwhile, Madison Metro recorded 1.3 million bus rides last month, the highest monthly ridership the city has seen in nearly 6 years. Year over year, the A and B routes experienced a roughly 50% increase in ridership. Metro Transit attributes the growth to the launch of the city's new bus rapid transit network, along with millions in federal funding that have helped expand and improve service.
Madison now has 5 new EV chargers. It's thanks to a collaboration between MG&E and the city. The new chargers were attached to previously owned utility poles from MG&E. List of locations up on your screen right now. MG&E says 80% of electric vehicle charging happens at home and that these charging poles were strategically placed in specific neighborhoods. With the expansion, there are now 60 EV chargers around the city.
In national news, after 35 years behind bars, a judge resentenced Lyle and Eric Menendez to life in prison with the possibility of parole. A California judge said the brothers deserve a chance at parole review, citing decades of good behavior. The brothers admitted to killing their parents in 1989. R&B singer Cassie returns to the stand today in Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial. On her first day of testimony, Cassie Ventura described being pressured into degrading sexual encounters with paid sex workers, saying it eventually felt like a job, with one encounter lasting 4 days. She also testified that her relationship with Combs became violent. His attorneys admit he could be violent, but say the acts were consensual. Cassie has not yet been cross-examined. The trial is expected to last 2 months.
The student accused of opening fire at Florida State University will remain in jail with no bond. Phoenix Eichner appeared before a judge via video from jail yesterday. The 20-year-old is accused of killing 2 people and injuring 6 others last month on the Tallahassee campus. Eichner faces 2 counts of first-degree murder and 7 counts of attempted first-degree murder.
Back at home, Unity Point Health Meritors Therapy West Clinic has moved to a larger, newer facility on Madison's west side. The new location on Research Park Boulevard offers an expanded range of specialized therapies, including an additional pelvic health therapy site. Patients will also have access to exclusive services for return to work and a broader range of vestibular therapies for dizziness, vertigo, and balance issues. And researchers at UW-Madison are developing an app to check the accessibility of rooms in your home. The augmented reality tool called RHAT uses Apple's LiDAR sensor technology on an iPhone or iPad camera to measure spaces. It then offers suggestions to make rooms more accessible for those in wheelchairs, the elderly, and others.
What we've seen thus far in some of our early testing is that people find this easier to use, they can get results more quickly, the results are more accurate, they're more confident with the results. So it really has been very promising.
After testing the second prototype this fall, they hope to release the app to the public within the next couple of years.
People who spend more time sitting or lying down are more likely to develop Alzheimer's. That's according to a new study by Vanderbilt University Medical Center that found a link between sedentary time and neurodegeneration. Even people who exercise regularly, they still face a higher risk of Alzheimer's if they spend a lot of time sitting or lying down.
A new approach to treating breast cancer has the potential to greatly improve survival rates. A University of Cambridge study found chemotherapy followed by a cancer drug led to 100% of patients surviving for at least 3 years after surgery. The drug is given 2 days after chemotherapy to give the body time to recover.
Oh, this is perhaps my favorite story of the morning. A Verona World War II veteran getting a special honor for his 100th birthday. Check this out. Henry Long lives at Four Winds Manor and Lodge in Verona. Long was born May 6, 1925. So he's 100 years old now, and he got a special little parade right in front of the facility. He served in the Pacific as a Marine, becoming a drill instructor at Parris Island. Vets Roll and local first responders did this drive-by for him at Four Winds to celebrate Henry's birthday and his service.
I appreciate everybody showing up. It's something I never expected. Thank you very much.
Oh, how about Henry there? Love to see
grateful.
that. He's also a recipient of the Purple Heart for his service. He was honorably discharged from the military July 1946.
Oh, this is so sweet. And he is so excited. And he didn't expect all these people to show up, but
No.
very deserving of this.
Absolutely. We don't do enough of this.
No.
Honoring our veterans, making a big deal out of momentous occasions like this. Got to mark these milestones. Go big, right?
Yes, especially like still being here 100 years later. Gotta love it.
Congratulations, Henry. Happy birthday.
Yes.
And thanks for everything.
Well, let's check in with Savannah. What's coming up?
Well, guys, we're still tracking storms, the threat of severe storms for tomorrow afternoon and evening, hence our alert day. We'll have those details coming up.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Oh, we're back. So if you live in Dane County right now, you've got a chance to help shape the future of biking, walking, and rolling.
Our consumer reporter, Michelle Renee Quinn, is live with one of the lead planners on the Greater Madison Metropolitan Committee. This morning, they're telling us what residents can do to help with planning. Michelle Renee, good morning.
Chris, Kyrion, good morning. I'm live out here on the Southwest commuter path, and that's because that's what it's all about, active transportation. Now, the Greater Madison Metropolitan Planning Committee wants your input to help make active transportation safer with their plan. Now, I'm here with the lead planner, Ben Lyman. Now, what can you tell us about the Dane County Active Transportation Plan? What is it?
Well, we're working on actually our first ever regional active transportation plan. So a plan for bicycling, walking, rollerblading, skateboarding, pogo sticking if you're into that. Anyway, whether you're just walking your dog around the block or whether you're walking to your car, everybody is a pedestrian for at least part of every trip. And so we want to make sure that everybody is being heard in what can make their journeys around our communities safer.
Yeah, so this is all about safety, including like accessibility wise for people who are in wheelchairs, that kind of thing as well. Can you tell me a little bit more about the specific types of people you're looking to hear from in Dane County?
Absolutely everybody. If you live in Dane County, we have the survey out. We're working with area communities right now, specifically Madison, Middleton, and Fitchburg are all doing their own active transportation plan updates. And so we're going to be sharing information that we get through the survey with those communities. We don't want people to have to take a dozen different surveys. So we're going to collect all that information, share that with those communities. And so really anywhere you live, if you walk, if you bike, if you use a wheelchair or other mobility device, it's really important that we hear from you about what's working, what's not working, so that we can then put that into this regional plan and share it with our communities, both to help update policies and to build new infrastructure.
Absolutely. And so can you tell me a little bit more about the survey? What kind of questions should people expect when they're logging on?
So it's really about, again, their experience with biking, walking, rolling. So we ask about barriers, things that are going to prevent them from doing those things more. We ask a little bit about transit use. A lot of folks who ride transit generally are going to be walking or biking to get to the bus, although there are quite a few folks who also will drive part way and then park at a park and ride or on street and get on the bus. But again, there's going to be a little bit at least of walking in that trip, and so we want to hear from those folks as well. But yeah, it's really about your experience, what's working, what's not working, what you'd like to see.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning.
You're welcome.
Once again, that survey, if you want to help out with Dane County's active transportation plan, you need to fill out that survey. If you live in Dane County, you walk, bike, roll, definitely check it out. It's available in English and Spanish and other languages as well with the number on your screen. Your deadline to fill it out is July 1st. You can also find a link on our website, channel3000.com.
Michelle Renee, very cool. Thank you.
Well, tick season is here. If you haven't noticed, whether you're hiking or gardening, it's important to know how to protect yourself.
The ticks to worry about here in Wisconsin are deer ticks. The best way to prevent bites from these black-legged bugs are to use repellent, wear protective clothing, and check for ticks after being outside. If you spot one on yourself or your pet, you can swipe it off before it bites. If you find a tick has bitten you, you have a couple of options. You can try to get it out with very fine tweezers, or you can go to the doctor's office. There you can get checked out and treated for Lyme disease if necessary. Ticks love warm and humid weather, of course. In Savannah, are we going to see some of this type of weather?
Yeah, we've been dealing with that and only going to rise temperatures and humidity levels from where we're sitting right now. There's not a lot of fog outside of Platteville, but we do have really low visibilities pretty much everyone else, Madison, and then especially eastward. Very, very low. We'll show that in a sec. But today is going to be warm. Everyone pretty much making it in the lower 80s. We will be dealing with some isolated showers, a few non-severe thunderstorms later this afternoon. Madison's down to a quarter of a mile. So is Janesville, Juneau and Watertown down to 0, and Waukesha's down to an 1/8. So definitely allow extra time before heading out. I expect most of the fog to be out of here by mid-morning, though the dense fog advisory is mainly east of Madison for Walworth, Jefferson, and Dodge counties, and then east of that area until 10 in the morning. So as we head closer to lunchtime, that's when visibilities come up, but that's also when we're going to see some spotty showers develop. That's with peak heating of the day, very similar to what we dealt with yesterday. So a mix of cloud cover, but we'll also see a little bit of sunshine. That's in place until the evening, moving out of here after that, but then clouds are going to pretty much be in place tonight. I think we could see a little bit of a break, maybe some destabilization of our atmosphere for tomorrow's severe weather threat. That would be into early tomorrow morning when we see the clearing, and then the threat of severe weather would be later the afternoon and evening hours of Thursday all across southern Wisconsin. And yes, all modes of severe weather, including tornadoes, are possible, but large hail and damaging winds are first and foremost the biggest threats. Janesville, Madison, Lone Rock, Viroqua, La Crosse, and then east of that area where the orange or tan color is, that's a 3 out of 5. There's going to be a sharp cutoff for areas that see severe weather in areas like out in Iowa, Dundee, Dubuque at a level 1 out of 5. That's the sharp cutoff, and especially west of even that area. This is going to be ahead of a cold front tomorrow. So I think storms develop, maybe a few in the morning northwest of Madison. This is 9:30 in the morning. I think for the most part, that's even northwest of Black River Falls. Everyone else for the most part dry until about 1 to 3 p.m. That's when I think storms are going to develop southwest of Madison, and then peaking for us at the earliest 3 and about until 6. I think by 7, 8 p.m. most of those showers and storms are going to be well east of the city of Madison, and then we'll quickly cool down and clear out after that. So that peak threat for Madison 3 to about 6 or 7 p.m. and then east towards Milwaukee 6 to about 8. Everyone will see that threat diminish by the time we're heading into 9 to 10 p.m. and then cooler by the weekend.
3 to 6 tomorrow. I'm thinking about those.
Yes.
After school activities, you know, the practices and games that anybody has going on tomorrow afternoon, evening, nighttime.
Just be aware we could see severe weather.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for tracking it for us.
You're welcome.
Still ahead, why one city banned pickleball at one of its parks, and we'll show you the crew that Brawny is sending out to clean houses.
And coming up in our next half hour, we're celebrating a state staple, what you need to know to enjoy the 12th ever Curd Fest.
And before we head to break, here are your gas prices. We're back after this.
Welcome back, everyone. This photo is from Gwen. She says, our lit downtown walk bridge. Take a looky there.
I love that's a good looking bridge.
Picture. Good for an evening stroll the last couple days with the warm
Yeah,
weather.
had a lot of those recently.
Sad I missed the money shot yesterday.
Oh my goodness. Well, this is just as good.
Boy.
This is the money shot.
Oh boy.
You weren't here. You really
All right, moving on. Trending this morning, a pickleball ban. That's right, the sport continues to take over tennis courts coast to coast. Now in Maple Grove, Minnesota, the city has banned pickleball at this park. It was pushed by the family that lives next to the park, who kept complaining about all the noise. No, not from the rowdy pickleball players, from the sound that the ball makes when it hits the paddle.
I can hear it in my head.
Now there's, can you do a little sound effect for us?
I don't even know.
No?
Like yeah, I don't even know. How do you make a ball?
Okay. We got some work to do. Got some work to do. All right.
I guess so.
There is now a petition to lift the ban that has thousands of signatures, or hundreds of signatures, rather.
I get it from both sides.
Do they own the park?
No.
Well then. Well, sometimes you can't shut down the
players,
pickleball.
But I also feel bad for the people that have to hear that all day.
I
They're
would
working
wonder.
from home, or I don't know.
This is a classic not in my backyard story.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, guess you gotta move your house.
Got to go somewhere.
Somewhere.
Where else are they going to play?
The people want pickleball.
All right, well, check this out. If you're looking for a home cleaning crew, the makers of Brawny paper towels say they got just the thing for you. Brawny is running a promotion right now for homeowners. They could win a visit from the Brawny 3-ply guys. According to a press release, they're 3 strong, plaid-clad men, hand-picked and Brawny man-trained. They'll come and clean your house. Sorry, folks, the promo is only available in Los Angeles, New York, and Dallas.
Oh, shucks.
Well, if they're in, I wonder how much the service is, because Brawny's not cheap. So
Yeah.
But I'm sure people will take advantage of this in these 3 cities. I can almost guarantee.
Yeah.
The phones will be ringing off the hooks.
Love the matching fits.
Yes.
I like the guy in the background there just watching the
Yeah.
other guy do it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Plaid,
That's good.
plaid.
It's not
There you
helping
go.
out. All right, well, we're dealing with some fog, and then your alert day tomorrow. We'll have those details coming up.
This morning, a case that's capturing national attention. The federal charges a Wisconsin judge now faces.
I watch people die, so I'll be getting some counseling.
Plus, recovering after tragedy, the latest in the investigation of a deadly Milwaukee apartment fire.
And boating season is back. What to remember before heading back out onto the water. Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrie Lee alongside meteorologist Savannah Brito. Starting off your Wednesday, halfway through the week.
And we can barely see a thing outside.
Yeah.
Look at all this
especially
fog
in Dane County.
from our Edgewater Sky Cam here
Yeah.
in Madison. I can barely see a thing, Savannah.
Yeah, our visibility down to like a quarter of a mile, and that not only for the city of Madison and Dane County, but a lot of dense fog out there. The dense fog advisory that we have, that's in effect for Jefferson, Dodge, Walworth counties, and eastward, but that doesn't mean you're in the clear. We're still down to a quarter mile in Madison, same with Janesville, but Watertown, Juneau, and Waukesha, along with Kenosha, those are the lowest visibilities that we've been tracking for the last about hour. That's where it's a little bit more widespread, but we even have some patchy lighter fog. Boscobel, Mineral Point down to 4 miles, Lone Rock's at 9, and Wisconsin Dells at 2. By mid-morning, most of these visibilities should increase. Platteville's not really seeing any. That's a live look, much different than the Edgewater Skycam we just showed. 59 with some fog right now in Madison. Temperatures quickly warming, and then alert day conditions return tomorrow. We'll talk about the hazards we could see for severe weather and time that out coming up.
Sounds good. Thanks, Savannah. To the big story of the morning, a Milwaukee judge is set to appear in federal court tomorrow in a case that has national attention.
Judge Hannah Dugan has been indicted on federal charges accused of helping an undocumented immigrant evade ICE agents last month. She faces charges of obstruction and concealing an individual from arrest. The case could impact her future on the bench. According to court documents, on April 18th, Judge Dugan confronted plainclothes immigration agents who were stationed in the hallway outside her courtroom. The agents were there to arrest a man appearing before her. Witnesses say Judge Dugan stopped the man and his attorney from exiting through the main doors and instead escorted them out a side exit typically used by jurors. Agents later caught up with the man outside and arrested him.
Now to the state capitol. A new bill headed to the Senate would make it easier to access birth control. The bill would allow pharmacists to prescribe birth control over the counter, allowing people to use their insurance without needing to go to a doctor first. Data from Public Health Madison-Dane County shows more than a quarter of the state's pregnancies are unplanned. With the bill, lawmakers hope to reduce the number of unplanned pregnancies and hoping to reduce the number of abortions and increase overall health outcomes.
The highest rate is among young women in poverty. These women are unlikely to finish school, and it will severely affect their potential earnings throughout their lives.
The bill received wide bipartisan support in the Assembly.
A Madison man pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting a child. Online records show Skylar Klassen admitted to first-degree sexual assault, child sexual exploitation, and possession of child sexual abuse material. He is set to be sentenced in September. Last month, Madison police arrested Klassen after receiving a tip that he possessed child sexual abuse materials. The investigation into Klassen also led to the arrest of Madison Bishop. She faces felony charges, including conspiracy to commit first-degree child sexual assault. Bishop has an arraignment set for Monday.
Police are investigating after someone shot a delivery driver in downtown Madison. Officers say that a man and a woman were delivering food along South Park Street near Meriter Hospital when they heard a loud bang and the man felt a pain in his leg. The man's injuries are not life-threatening. Police do not have a suspect description to share with you this morning. They do want anyone with information about this shooting to contact Madison area Crime Stoppers.
This morning, a Westside Madison lab is closed and a worker is recovering after an explosion. Madison fire crews responded to Charmony Drive Monday afternoon after reports that a powder caught fire and caused a blast. Fire officials say the worker handled red phosphorus when the reaction happened. Crews evacuated the building, helped the injured worker, contained the chemicals, and secured the building.
Madison police say that a 15-year-old boy is in custody after a robbery at Madison East High School. Officers say the teenager beat and robbed another person in the bathroom Monday morning. Officers arrested the teen, who's facing charges of robbery and battery. He's being held in the juvenile detention center.
We're learning more about the victims of the devastating apartment fire in Milwaukee. This comes as investigations continue searching for answers. 5 people are dead and 6 remain in the hospital. Fire officials and investigators are trying to get answers. How did it start and how did it spread? Because other buildings could be at risk. They're preserving potential evidence by keeping the building secure. Meanwhile, survivors are trying to process the aftermath.
I'm still experiencing it. Even though the matter is over with, I watch people die, so I'll be getting some counseling.
The apartment building was not required to have sprinklers and was regularly inspected. So far, 114 people have been displaced. 29 spent the night at a Red Cross shelter.
The Madison Metro School Superintendent, Dr. Joe Gothard, opened up the board meeting recently with an apology. He said the district fell short years ago in handling hidden cameras at East High School. In 2019, staff reportedly placed cameras in rooms violating the privacy of disabled students. The incident led to investigations by the district and Madison police. Deputy Superintendent Dr. TJ McCurry says all cameras are now in approved areas.
Here's a live look at Lambeau Field, where the Philadelphia Eagles will take on the Green Bay Packers in Week 10 of the Packers regular season. The Packers will play the Eagles on Monday, November 20th at 7:15. This announcement leaked ahead of the NFL full schedule release, which happens tonight at 7. Be sure to tune in to our later newscast for the full schedule.
Now to Washington and a new report on cuts to health research. The Senate committee report shows deep cuts to the National Institutes of Health, totaling $2.7 billion. The report shows a 31% slash to cancer research through March compared to the same time last year. An HHS spokesperson says actions taken this year prioritize research that directly affects the health of Americans.
The FDA is moving to pull prescription fluoride tablets and drops from the market. Doctors often prescribe these products to young children at high risk for tooth decay, but now federal officials say they never formally approved them. The Department of Health and Human Services confirms that these products have been used for years without full FDA review or approval. The FDA has launched a safety investigation and opened a public comment period, which runs through October 31st.
Despite tariff-related price pressures, inflation slowed more than expected in April. Consumer prices rose 0.2% last month. That brings total annual inflation to 2.3%. It's the lowest annual rate since February of 2021. Some experts believe Americans will still see more tariff-related price adjustments in the next few months.
Tariffs are forcing companies to make tough choices, and consumers are paying the price. Products like baby gear, power drills, and mattresses have all seen price hikes. Some companies are now raising prices across the board, while others are targeting specific items. In a more drastic move, many are simply eliminating products, choosing not to sell them rather than offer them at prices customers won't accept or competitors will undercut.
New data shows Americans have cleaned up some of their credit card debt, but overall debt has increased. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York releasing some quarterly numbers on household debt and credit. The report shows credit card and auto loan balances fell by $29 billion and $13 billion respectively, but total household debt increased by $167 billion during the first quarter.
With temperatures getting warmer and Memorial Day weekend on the horizon, Wisconsin lakes are gearing up for heavier traffic, but being on the water comes with risk. The DNR stresses that safety is critical early in the season. That means wearing a life jacket, ensuring your boat is registered, and monitoring the weather. A rep from Brittingham Boats says that boaters should also stay aware of others on the water.
All holidays, we get people from like all ranges of skill levels. We get anyone who could be like this tall to like older people with grandparents and stuff like that.
The DNR Reports that boat-related incidents are on the decline in 2024. 111 boat accidents and 14 boat-related deaths were recorded statewide, the lowest number since 2020.
Well, the annual celebration of Wisconsin's famous cheese curds will be returning for the 12th year. Curd Fest is coming back at Madison's WISC-TV Field. The event celebrates Wisconsin's most iconic snack with a wide variety of the dish. Mark your calendars. Curd Fest this year is September 6th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. General admission is free, but if you want to get in early entry tickets are $5. For $30, you can get VIP tickets. They include early entry plus unlimited curd samples from 1:30 to 3, and you get to skip the lines. Tickets go on sale this Friday, 10 a.m., WISC-TVsfield.com.
I can only imagine the varieties of curds that will be there. I'm sure there will be plenty to go around.
Oh man, there's nothing beats a nice, fresh, squeaky cheese curd.
So you like the non-fried ones?
I mean, I'll take them however I can get them. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, the fresh ones.
Fresh.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. Gotta love it. Get ready to get those tickets, guys. Well, let's check in with Savannah. What's coming up?
Well, guys, today going to be another warm day, not as warm as tomorrow, and then we're tracking alert day conditions. We'll time out all the showers and storms we're going to see today and tomorrow coming up.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Savannah, Sierra, and Eddie, and Gizmo would like you to plan our day in Port Atkinson.
Thank you to Connie for sending me that video. We are going to see isolated showers and storms across Fort Atkinson and all of southern Wisconsin once we get to the afternoon and evening. Very foggy start, especially across Jefferson County, 59 degrees, but we will quickly warm up. We're still looking at a warm and humid day as we approach the lower 80s later today anyways. Most of us still sitting near 60. We're down to a quarter of a mile in Madison. Watertown and Juneau still at 0. Janesville's down to a quarter of a mile, but the only counties are all east of Dane County that are under a dense fog advisory until 10 a.m. So I think we'll at least be dealing with this through the next couple of hours by mid-morning, and then more specifically as we head closer to lunchtime, that's when I think visibilities are going to come up. But just be mindful of that, allow a little bit of extra time. Then once we get past lunchtime, we'll see a couple of showers and storms develop. No severe weather is expected today. Tomorrow that could be a different story. This is going to be with the peak heating of the day. Later by mid to late afternoon, early evening, very similar to what we saw yesterday. We'll still see some sunshine, but also some cloud cover and a couple of showers. Not everyone's going to see the rain though. Then once we get to tomorrow, we're tracking alert day conditions specifically for tomorrow, Thursday afternoon and evening, all across southern Wisconsin. And yes, all modes of severe weather are going to be possible. Janesville, the city of Madison, Lone Rock, Viroqua, La Crosse, and then areas eastward of that. Mainly the best chance of severe weather is where this orange or tannish color is. That's a level 3 out of 5 when you're looking at best chance of severe weather. There's going to be a sharp cutoff though. This is going to be ahead of a cold front out in Iowa. You can see there was a marginal low level risk, a 1 out of 5. So be mindful of that. Download the First Warn Weather app. Let's time this out. The morning looks dry. I think northwest of Black River Falls could see a morning round of showers and storms. You can see that by our logo. And then most of the first half of the day is going to be dry. Once we approach about 1 to 3 p.m., those storms are going to develop west of Madison. Peak between 3 and 6 p.m. I think for the city of Madison and most of southern Wisconsin. By 7 to 8 p.m., most of those storms and showers are going to be well west or well east of Madison towards Milwaukee. After about 8 to 9 a.m., that threat's going to diminish altogether. Large hail, damaging winds are going to be the primary threat, but a few tornadoes cannot be ruled out too. We're definitely going to have some of that energy and moisture levels. Dew points are going to be sitting close to 70 and temps pushing about 90. By Friday, those temperatures are going to cool down still above average. We'll be in the 70s and then a much cooler and breezy weekend ahead, the mid 60s.
All right, things still not looking terrible. Just got to get through tomorrow's alert day.
Yeah, and enjoy the 80 we'll see today, but a couple of showers too.
A couple of showers, so get out and enjoy it.
Yeah, those breaks in the showers, we'll see them and some sunshine too.
All right, Savannah, thank you.
Had a great Plan My Day video today. We want more though. Share a video with us. Say your name, where you're at. Animals are encouraged. We love those too. Then upload it through our website, the First Warn Weather app, Facebook Messenger, or email, and watch to see if you make it on the air. All right, so if you live in Dane County, now is your chance to help shape the future of biking, walking, and rolling.
Our consumer reporter, Michelle Renee Quinn, is live with one of the lead planners of the Greater Madison Metropolitan Committee. This morning, they're telling us what residents can do to help with planning. Michelle Renee, good morning.
Chris, Kyrion, good morning. I'm live at the Southwest Commuter Path this morning, and that's why I'm here, because it's all about active transportation. The Greater Madison MPO is asking you for your input to help plan their active transportation plan. I'm here with that lead planner this morning, Ben Lyman. Good morning.
Good morning.
I would like you to tell us a little bit exactly what is that active transportation plan? What do folks need to know?
Well, we're updating what we had as a 2015 bicycle transportation plan for Dane County. Obviously, a little bit has changed in the last 10 years. New infrastructure, new technology, and a lot of new people living in Dane County. A lot of communities have grown a lot. And so we want to update that plan, as well as taking into consideration the needs of pedestrians, people in wheelchairs, folks who are getting around on their own 2 feet or under their own power, again, throughout the county. In rural areas and small communities, and then right here in Madison as well.
Absolutely. And now I know you mentioned that the survey will also ask residents about possible barriers that they see on their commutes. Now, as somebody who literally commuted here on their own bicycle, can you tell us a little bit about an example, Yes, could you give us an example of one of those barriers, or maybe something that you've experienced on one of your commutes?
So one of the things that we've heard a lot in past surveys and past feedback is, for example, the East Washington Avenue corridor is a barrier. People find it very difficult to get from the north side to the south side safely. And so looking at that and trying to improve places for pedestrians and bicyclists to cross, to reach transit stops, to reach schools, to reach shopping, to reach jobs, is of critical importance.
Absolutely. And you also mentioned that they can say what they do like, so that maybe that can be implemented in other locations. And you mentioned a light. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So this is not on my usual commute, but this morning I had the pleasure of riding through the Southwest Commuter Path intersection at Charter Street, just a few blocks to the east of us. And Charter Street is a relatively low traffic street, and the city has set up the signal timing there so that the bicyclists and pedestrians on the Southwest Commuter Path by default have the green light. And then vehicles that are coming up on Charter Street have to stop, wait for the light to change. And that's really a paradigm shift from how most signals work, where they're timed for automobile traffic. And then pedestrians have to press what is typically called a beg button to beg and wait for their turn to cross the street safely. And so looking at places where simple changes like that can improve people's experience and maintain public safety, and not bring the transportation network to a standstill where all the cars just have to wait all the time, but really improving it for everyone so that everyone can get where they're going in a timely manner.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Looks like we're having a little technical difficulty there, but what Michelle Renee was saying is if you want to help make transportation safer, you can fill out the survey. Anyone in Dane County who bikes, walks, or rolls around, they want your input, so that survey is available in multiple languages, and you have until July 1st to complete it.
Yeah, here's your chance for your voice to be heard. Don't let it pass you by.
Yes. Well, coming up in the morning sprint, how Ticketmaster is improving customer experience.
And we want to wish a happy 3rd birthday to Ada Jane. Happy birthday. We're back to the sprint next. Time for the morning sprint.
A Milwaukee judge is set to appear in federal court tomorrow. Judge Hannah Dugan is now indicted on federal charges, accused of helping an undocumented immigrant evade ICE agents last month. She faces charges of obstruction and concealing an individual from arrest. The case could impact her future on the bench.
A Madison man pleading guilty to sexually assaulting a child. Online records show Skylar Klassen pleaded guilty to 3 charges. He's set to be sentenced in September. The investigation into Klassen also led to the arrest of Madison Bishop. Her arraignment is set for Monday.
President Donald Trump is in Qatar today as he considers accepting a luxury jet from the country. Qatar is one of the world's wealthiest due to energy resources. The country is pledging to invest more in the U.S. They're also offering to give the Defense Department a Boeing 747 to use as Air Force One. Members of Trump's party say the U.S. would have to strip the jet down to check for surveillance devices.
Today is the 5th annual Hmong Lao Veterans Day here in Wisconsin. During the Vietnam War, thousands of Hmong Lao people fought alongside U.S. soldiers. That's before facing harsh retribution from the Vietnamese and Laotian governments. The last airlift evacuating the remaining soldiers took place May 14th, 1975. Governor Evers has ordered flags to be flown at half staff in recognition.
Madison Metro recorded 1.3 million bus rides last month, the highest monthly ridership the city has seen in nearly 6 years. Year over year, the A and B routes experienced a roughly 50% increase in ridership. Metro Transit credits the growth to the launch of the city's new bus rapid transit network, along with millions in federal funding that have helped expand and improve service.
Ticketmaster has a new pricing policy for you this morning to improve their customer experience. You're now going to be able to see all the service charges and facility fees before taxes up front. Previously, those fees were only visible at checkout. Ticketmaster says the new all-in prices address consumer concerns about hidden costs. The change was prompted by the FTC rule on unfair and deceptive fees that went into effect this week.
After 35 years behind bars, Lyle and Eric Menendez were resentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole. A California judge said his ruling does not mean the brothers will be released, but noted he believes they deserve the chance to have their case reviewed by parole officials after years of good behavior. The Menendez brothers have admitted to shooting and killing both of their parents in 1989.
Well, it's still going to be mild and a little humid, not as warm nor as humid as what we'll see tomorrow with alert day conditions. All modes of severe weather are going to be possible, but large hail and damaging winds are going to be the primary threats. A couple isolated tornadoes cannot be ruled out. Just make sure you have that first storm weather app handy.
All right, Savannah, thanks for tracking that for us.
Yes.
All right.